Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place. I know where I
It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, the FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now.
am
And if you like to see us live in WGPL 1350 studio, all you have to do is go to Everette's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda the Lady Hinton Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in WGPL 1350 studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to WPCE 1400 AM or WGPL 1350 AM or www.christianbroadcastingcompany.com. Click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
And peace.
Oh,
95.3 AFM and WPCE 1400. Good morning to you.
good morning. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. Make sure you like, share, follow, subscribe, comment. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, subscribe, like, share, follow, and subscribe. That's
Absolutely.
what you need to do.
Yes, it's a wonderful, beautiful day here in the Hampton Roads area. As a matter of fact, the weekend was absolutely fabulous, Mr. E.
Well, it's 71 degrees on the outside today, and it's sunny. Yes, what a great weekend.
How was your weekend?
Well, I had a great weekend. What did I do size for WORK? Yeah, I worked.
Oh, wow. Well, I tell you,
I got a chance to work out. I did get a chance to work out, so I worked out and I worked.
we want to say good morning to our friend Roberta Carter. How are you? I hope you had a great weekend. You all that up, make sure you comment. We want to know who you are, where you're coming from, what social media platform you're on, and we'll shout you out. Yeah, Mr. E had a great weekend. Of course, my grandson was over. We got a chance to just to sit out and chill. We did go out and do a few things as well, and it was just a really nice, beautiful, laid back weekend.
You said laid.
Laid back, didn't overdo anything. Got a chance to rest, work a little bit, exercise a little bit, and just a lot of nice, chill back time.
So, in other words, you're trying to say your weekend was off the chain.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
And that's what it's all about, having one of the greatest weekends in the world that you can sit back, chill, and relax.
Absolutely, Mr. E. This is our Monday sports talk.
Good morning, Sports Talk. I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm delighted because this is Sports Talk, and our special guest, we're waiting for him to call in, Mr. Jack Baker. We're waiting for Jack to call in right about now. Coach Plummer, I just texted him to get Jack on the line. Jack, call now.
All right, so we're expecting our guest Jack Baker. He's former coach of Maury High School, and so let's see if he's up and ready and popping.
That's right. That's all it takes. Come on, Jack. Be up, ready, and popping. I had an opportunity to speak with Coach Jack Baker on what was that, Friday, Thursday, or Friday? Yeah. And he was airing and ready to go, getting ready to take the boys out there to do some baseball training.
Oh, that's great. So we're gonna find out more about him. In the meantime, we're gonna talk about the game, the weekend games. Mr. E, uh, if and when Jack calls, we'll talk about Sunday. But there was a game before then, the first game. I want you to kind of like spill the tea on the first game and your opinion of how everything played out. Boston Celtics won that first game.
Well, Boston Celtics did win the first game, but there's a but in the picture. I
What's
think
the but?
I think the Warriors got a little laid back. I think that they were so overconfident that during the fourth quarter of the first game, they got overconfident and they decided that they're gonna lay back, and that what caused the Boston Celtics to come back up.
Well, I tell you what, the Warriors were up above, the scores were wasn't neck to neck, but they were far ahead at one time.
That's
But
right.
then
That's right.
eventually,
That's right.
by surprise, hello, Boston Celtics just took the game.
Well, I really believe it was a great game, which the first game was a great game. When you get laid back and think and get overconfidence, think you got it made, and then all of a sudden they come and clip your wings, and I think that would happen to the Warriors, Golden State Warriors. They laid back on Boston. Boston came and clipped their wings on the first game. Now,
We're not going to talk about the second game yet, Miss Steve. We talk about this first game.
well, the first game was one of the greatest games that the Warriors did. That the Warriors won. Boston Celtics won the first game.
Yes.
They didn't. They won about. They didn't have a tremendous lead on the first game. I don't think they had that many points ahead
Mhm.
of what happened last night.
Yes.
But the Boston Celtics runner Larry Bird was extremely happy. McHale was extremely happy. Parrish was extremely happy because they beat the Golden State Warriors.
I'm under the impression, I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball or anything, but sometimes I get the feeling that Boston's gonna win one, then the Warriors gonna win one, then Boston is gonna win one, and then the Warriors. But we'll see. We'll see. We're not gonna talk about the second game yet, but the first game was a good game. I think it surprised a lot of people. I think they felt like the Warriors had it in the bag. All of a sudden, hey, you can't, this is how I feel. Missy. I feel like it's any man's game anyway. Because basketball to me is a sport that, one gets a point, the other get a point. One gets a point. And when you see them way far ahead of the pack or the score, if they're at 20 and the next one is at 30 or 40 or whatever, to me that's kind of unusual, even though it happens. But most of the time they stay toe to toe.
That's
They
right.
stay toe to
That's
toe.
that's
It's
right.
any man's game, and then, at the last minute, hey, the team that's meant to win wins.
Well, Miss Hinton, when you look at that round cylinder, it's a skill thing. It ain't a guarantee that you're gonna get a bucket when you're
That's
dealing with that
true.
with that center when you're dealing with that cylinder. That thing they call the rim of the basketball hoop. Now, when you look at it, that you can be hot as a firecracker, and then 1 minute you can be cold as ice. So I believe what happened was in the first game, Boston Celtics got hot in the second half, and the Celtics cooled down. And when they cooled down, Boston went to work on them, and they tore them out of the frame. One thing I can say about basketball and with Boston playing the Warriors, they had to make an adjustment. The coach for Boston, what they did, they began to make adjustments on the first game. They put in players on the first game that have not seen any action. Well, I believe this. When it came down to the fourth quarter, the second half, they put in fresh legs. They took the starters out and put in fresh legs. And when they
Yes.
put in fresh legs, they kept a couple of the starters in there, and they put in fresh legs, and the fresh legs are playing along with the starters of the Golden State Warriors. They begin to work on the Warriors. Speed got a hold of them, and when Speed got them, they was popping and they was shooting like Crisco
Wow. Sometimes I look at them, they look like ballerinas. They're doing all types of moving, jumps and
and
floating and
spinning. Yeah,
I'm not gonna say nothing about that game, but yeah, they kind of make me think that they've been out there, doing a little ballet and stuff. They just look really graceful at times, and then times they look like they just like a bunch of bulls just hitting each other and smacking and falling and
I
carrying on. It's,
when you look at them, when you look at basketball players, they should have equipment on like football players
I know
because they own the carpet, they own the parquet floor, they bump into each
it's
other.
physical.
They
Yes.
they get real physical. And when the first game, here's the thing that I found out the difference in the first game and the second game. This fella by the name of Damon Green wasn't as physical as he was in the second game. He
Mm.
was real physical in the second game versus being physical in the first game. The first game, he was kind of laid back, going along with the flow. And I believe that it was just a testing of the water. Now, here's my prediction. And I know that the Boston won the first game. I know it. I know
Yes.
it. But I know also that there was a game played on last night. But the winner of last night game will win the series.
Well, I tell you
I don't
what,
believe it's going to be a back and forth series. I don't believe it.
we'll see. But anyway, players that are playing well, anybody else stand out in your mind?
Last in the first
On
game.
the first game, yeah.
Well, the first game that stood out for me was this guy by the name of, I think his name Davis and Williams stood out before. The one they was talking about his hairdo. They said his hairline was way back. I think it was Davis. Davis came alive. He came alive along with Lewis. He came alive also. And Lewis is a great ball player. I believe people has been sleeping on Lewis. I believe that what folks was doing, they was watching Lewis, but they was not knowing that Lewis could play.
Oh my goodness. Steph Curry's name is just always always sounded out. Everybody. That's one of the fan favorites. There's quite
Pope did wonderful last. Pope is
uh-huh.
a fan's favorite. And then what's his name that came back off an injury. He didn't do too much of anything. He did a lot on the first game. He did a wonderful job on the
Who is
first game.
that? Okay.
Clay. His name is Clay. He did a wonderful job on the first game. And then you had the bench came off on the first game. But I think it was just a way that they played, and the way they was playing was basic fundamental basketball, and they was using strategy on the first game to really feel each other out. It's just like a boxer. A boxer get in the ring, and when they get into the ring, they're feeling each other out. And and you can determine by the first blow, the first punch,
Mhm.
whether or not or what you need to do in order to beat your opponent. So here we are looking at Boston and Golden State Warriors, and they begin to punch. They begin to punch. Now, when Golden State lost to the Boston Celtics, they was really punching and finding out what need to be done in order for them to win the game.
So that's my question now. What goes into training for the finals? I mean, is it more training? Is it less training? How do you feel that the teams train during this particular time?
Well, I think that what they do a lot of strategizing, they do a lot of plays, a lot of movement. They look at a lot of films and they begin to analyze where they made the mistakes at, what's going on with them, and how where they made their errors and what they need to do to capitalize on the mistakes that they made. Now, if one was not blocking here, was not shooting over here, then he need to switch. Now, if they left Davis wide open, then what they need to do is put a man on Davis, and somebody need to trail Davis so that Davis wouldn't get off like he did last time, or Lewis like he did last time. Lewis was just walking up to the bucket and just shooting at random, just whenever he wanted to. But somebody had to put when they go back into the locker room, when they go back into and started looking at the films, and what they'll begin to see is what's going on with them, where they made their errors, and
Yes.
what they need to do to better themselves. Whether they need to do some speed training, whether or not they need to get back into the gym, or they wasn't physical enough. Whatever they need to do, but Boston is known, Beantown is known to be a physical team.
Yes. I wonder how they relax though. I can imagine, the pressure because every team, I believe, wants to win. I believe Boston wants to win, and I believe that the Warriors, they want to win. And so I have a feeling like they're training a little bit more and or they're, like you say, and looking, reviewing footage and finding out how they can strategize and get better. I think it's absolutely marvelous uh, when they get to this point. These are the best of the best, the two best.
That's
These
right. That's
they
right.
have come a long way. There were a lot of games played, and you got the two that made it to the end. Now we're going to talk about last night's
Well, you
game.
listen to FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Havard, co-host, and you on WPCE, WGPL 1350, WPCE 1400, and Peace 95.3, and on other social medias.
I want to say good morning to James Slade and Sheila Robbins. They've popped on. You all that are looking on, make sure you comment. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
I think is when we look at the rest of the game, the way the Warriors got there, the way the Celtics got there, they had to play a lot of other teams.
Yes.
They had to really prove themselves to be the best in the West, the North, South, East, and the West. They had to play against the teams in the West and the teams in the East, and then they had to break it all the way down to where they are now. Now, this will determine who's what, the gold, the trophy that they're about to receive. It's been put into a Louis Vuitton bag.
Oh, that trophy is nothing but beautiful.
Wow, they made some exceptions
Oh,
to the trophy. Instead of them having the net space so wide, they made the nets a little smaller now. And then they put that trophy, that big old gold trophy, and then they put seams on the trophy. It's got like a real basketball. It's got the
yes.
seam of a basketball in it, and then they put it in a Louis Vuitton
It
bag.
is so beautiful. I saw it and I said, oh man, that's worth getting just the trophy itself, let alone the money.
Yeah, you know they're gonna get paid. You
Let
know,
alone the
you
money.
you know it's a payday for them. Now, not only that, but if carrying them win, not only does he be, but he outshined the rest of the shooting
Yes.
gallery out there, like LeBron James and the rest of those boys who practice 3-point shootings and all that.
Talking about 3-point shooting last night, honey.
Pope showed them out.
Woo!
Well, let's go to last night game. Now,
Yes.
what was your prediction when you turned on the TV set and started looking at the game? What was your first instinct? Did you think that the Warriors going to win, or did you think that the Celtics going to win?
Mr. Ian, like I tell you, it's any man's game. Basketball to me is just like that. Now, I'm going to tell you what I like about uh, last night's game and what I didn't. I kind of like, uh, I don't like the toe-to-toe scores. When they're 40-40, 30-30. I just love to see a team maybe a little far out, a little bit more points, which they finally, got to that. But that game last night, constantly stay toe to toe.
So that puts you on the edge of your chair.
It's kind of like it's like any man's game, any man's game, any man's game. So if you're rooting for someone, which I'm not rooting for anyone at this particular time, because I'm just like on the fence. I'm just like, hey, whoever. Because Boston Celtics to me have a name and a brand that goes way back. My brothers and them used to love the Boston Celtics. Then you got this Golden State, which to me are the stars of the NBA, with Steph Curry and the others. And I kind of like, oh, if whoever, to me right now, kind of like would be all right. These two, the best of the two, either one of them to me. What I love about the game to me sometimes seems really soft and like I say, almost dance like, but then it gets rough, tough. I saw so many folk on the floor yesterday, so much green laying down, or it was just like it gets really, really tough. But the 3 pointers to me, sometimes that's a fabulous move, and that's what I love about the game last night.
Well, last night I love the finesse of the game.
Uh huh.
I like the movers and the shakers. I like when Celtics was in the bucket. I like it when they go in the bucket, when they go in
Yes.
the paint. I believe that when a man shoot 3 pointers, it's a hit or miss
Hmm.
chance you have to take.
Yes.
But when I saw them going in the middle of the bucket with the 2 pointers, yeah, you get more points when you shoot threes. But when you in that bucket and you playing finesse basketball, you moving and shaking, putting out all the moves, and you're muscling folk, and then when they do that, then I know that there's basketball because the defense had to play. When you come
Yes.
into the bucket, when you come in the bucket, that's where you got to make it. You got to show your strength in the bucket. That's a big man's game
Yes.
when you come into the bucket. Now, when you standing out behind the free throw lines and shooting that ball, 3 pointers. Now that's for the guards. That's for all the
Yes.
guards like Steph Curry and
Hmm.
Lewis and Pope and all that. But when you get underneath that bucket, it's time to mix it up. So I like mixing it up. I like mixing
Yes.
it up. I just got a text from Plummer, Coach Plummer, and said they doing the SOL testing. So he could have told. Well, that's another story.
Okay, so I'll guess Jack Baker that
Will
he's in the
not
middle
show
of
up. Yeah,
testing. But anyway, we tried to get it on. In the meantime, we're going to continue talking about
I
the
want to
game
open
on
up the
last
phone
night.
lines. Yeah.
Oh, if you want to, but let me say this. You know, the first, what is it? The first and second
Quarters.
quarters,
Okay.
it was toe to toe. But then all of a sudden, Golden State began to just
20-point
move
difference.
out. 20 points different. It was amazing. What
Well,
was happening, Mr. E, at this time that they moved out? Because, like I said, and I sat there and watched it, toe to toe. If one made a point, then the other one. I mean, it was so, you would see 40, 40. You would just see them just toe to toe in this game. But then all of a sudden, what was going
let
on?
me tell you what
What was
happened.
going on with Baltimore?
Let me tell you what happened. What with
I mean,
Boston?
Boston. I'm
Let me tell
sorry,
you what
Boston.
happened. What happened was that when they came out at halftime, they started the game again, third and fourth quarter. They figured them out. So here,
Ah,
if you look at who was on the floor for Boston,
mhm,
Starr was not on the floor for Boston. The guy with the green hair. Now he's a good
mhm, yeah,
guard. Now Wing was on the floor, but they put two new people on the floor and two big people because Golden State had changed the dynamics of the game. They put this big,
mhm,
tall guy in the middle, and all he did was hang around the bucket. So what they decided to do is put somebody else in the middle that's twice as big as he is, and tall like he was, and they allowed them to play underneath the bucket. But what happened was they put a smaller guard on Steph Curry. And when they put a smaller guard on Steph Curry, who couldn't check Steph Curry, and Steph went to work on him.
mhm,
And when Steph went
yes,
to work, that was the ball game. Now, The other gentleman, I don't know why I can't remember his name, that plays God. He couldn't hit the back of the barn, but my boy Pope came along. Pope came along, and guess what Pope did? Pope shot the lights out. He's the one that hit step cross the. Now watch this. Here's what happened. Boston was cutting them off from the perimeter. When if you notice, they was playing defense up top. But when they was playing defense up top, then there was 27 times that they went to the bucket, that Golden State went to the bucket that couldn't hit the back of a barn. He missed so many points. So they had to put some more trees in the background. So now when they came across the starting line, Steph Curry and Pope began to do that challenge thing that they do. Who would be the one to hit the most
Oh, wow.
3 pointers? But Pope came alive and started burning them up. They wasn't expecting Pope to hit like he was hitting. They changed everybody on him. They put this person on, but they figured that if one get on Pope and the other one get on Carey, then they'll shut him down. That's what they did in the first game.
Who was that hit that point at the end of the second quarter at the last second?
Pope, that was Pope.
That was so. I mean, I saw Steph Curry hug him like
that was Pope. That was Pope. Pope was the one that brought him. See, Pope brought him alive. He came back. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. He came alive and started burning them like crazy. He came along and he started hitting them like left and right and left.
It was amazing. But at the end, poor Boston.
22 points.
Just you had high hopes for Boston, though, didn't you?
Well,
You kind of wanna. I see that you kind of straddling the fence, though.
Well, see,
you put Boston one day, and then you put the Warriors the next day.
Well, see, with me, I like here's my thing. Well, when the Lakers was all that bag of chips back in the days of old with Michael Johnson, Magic Johnson, the Larry Bird and all them they played a good game. Parrish and all them boys. Now, Boston had Danny Ainge was just like Dre Vaughn. Danny Ainge was one of the brightest players that you ever want to see. Dennis Rodman and Danny Ainge, and now Davon Green is just right to the court. He don't mind facing you. He don't mind bumping you. He don't mind irritating you. He don't mind agitating you. So it takes you out of your game. And that's what he did. He took them cats out of the game. And when he took them out of the game, that was the ball game.
I think the Warriors were showing off because they were home.
Well, see,
I mean, I think they're really comfortable at home. I just get the impression as I see them play, it's like, hey, we're here. We home. We're home. We're gonna win this.
Now here's what you got to remember. The first game they was home. They didn't win.
But
now the second game they was home. They won. Now they going to Beantown. They going to Boston. They going to Boston on Wednesday. Now here's what you got to take in consideration. If they go to Boston, the Warriors, and beat on the road, that means that there'll be 2-1. They won in Boston, and then if they win again in Boston, that'll be 3-1. That's the ball game. But here's what I think gonna happen. My prediction: they going to Boston, they gonna win one, like you said, and Boston gonna win one. Then they gonna come back to Golden State. Golden State Warriors gonna win 3. Now it's going to be a 3-5 series. Now they're only playing 7 games, the best of the 7. They always say the team. That's what they say. The team that wins 3 games, it's hard for them to lose the series. So I'm predicting that if Golden State go down there and win 3 games, it's the ball game.
Oh, well, we shall see. It's any man's game to be. I am not making a prediction. I'm just going to be a standby and look at what's going on, enjoy the game, and we shall see. Mr. E, we're gonna see.
That's right.
I hope you all have been looking at the game and enjoying. This is it. You have 7 games. 2 have already been played. Wednesday they'll be in Boston,
That's right.
and so we'll come back. We'll talk about it on Sports Talk. And I tell you what, you all come over here with us for a minute. We're gonna keep talking about it for a little while and give you some other information from FYI. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FY Radio Show with our host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WGPL 1350 and WPCE 1400. And don't forget to have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Looking at the game and doing this is it. We have
Yes.
we'll talk about in the sports talk and tell you what you all come over here. 30 minutes you have been
Well. Mr. E, were you excited for the Warriors? I just have a feeling you are that you like Boston. There's something about Boston that you like, even though you rah for the Warriors. I'm on the impression that Boston is one of your favorites.
Well, the favorite change from me, and I'm gonna let you know, we Golden State Warriors.
Really?
Yeah. I like everything on the Boston Celtic team are young cats. They have never been to the dance.
Mm-hmm.
And everything on the Golden State Warrior team is experience. They've been to the dance before. Now, the reason why I like experienced team, because experienced team know what it takes and know how to move,
Yes.
and know what they supposed to do in order to win a good ball game.
Wow.
When you got experience, there's no if, ands, or buts whether or not you're going to win the game or not because you have experience. Now, last night you saw experience.
Yes.
You saw when they was
Yes.
tied up in the first half, then they came out in the halftime and they jumped 20 points.
That blows my mind, but I do like when they play like that.
And
I like to see teams ahead of the other one.
when they jumped 20 points,
Mm-hmm.
when I looked at the game and I saw it was 95 to 60 something, I said, it's over. It's a ball game. It's a wrap. That's before the third quarter ever changed. I said now, when the fourth quarter, I said now, they got a fourth quarter to play. Now, I said now, Golden State cannot do is get lax. They cannot relax.
Yes.
That's
That's
and I
right.
want to flip the script one. That's what the Dallas Cowboys do. They get the lead, and then all of a sudden they get lax.
Well, when it comes to basketball, that's what really makes me excited about the game. Like I said, they were going toe to toe, toe to toe. But then when there's one that goes all the way out, let me tell you why I like when the team, starts
Get a
to get
lead, okay?
is because you never know that other team, if you don't watch it, like you said, if they get lax, that other team can come up. That team may be 20 points ahead, and you think they're gonna win, and all of a sudden, here's that other team at the last minute just scoring and scoring and scoring. So it makes the game exciting to see that.
To try to play comeback.
To make that culture try to be. But this game,
If you listen to the sports commentators last night,
uh-huh,
the sports commentators said some great things. Well, the first game there was Magic Johnson. He was there
yes, he
on
was
the site,
absolutely.
and this game, they done did all the publicity, everybody, all the headliners, and all those folks that of somebody in the league that they showed out for the first game and gave their predictions.
Yes.
Now here's what you see now. You see people playing ball. It's all that hoopla is over. CeeLo
Wow.
did a good job last night when he sung the Star Spangled Banner.
I
But
love CeeLo.
but when you, now the hoopla is gone. It's just like playing basketball. Now you got the finesse. Now here's what I saw, and I hope y'all can see me. Here's what I saw. I saw Golden State Warriors get down like this.
Hmm.
This is the basic all players, a serious ball game player. Hands open like this, and they on the go.
All right
They
now.
owned it when or when Draymond went under the bucket. He used all of this
Hmm.
upper body
Hmm.
strength. This is what they go into the gym for. They go into the gym to work the upper body because they're going against somebody else's weight. Now,
Yes.
if you noticed last night, they was putting bodies on. They were leaning on them.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
They were holding them, not holding them physically, but
But
they
they
put
would
that weight on you.
absolutely.
And when they put that body on you, so now you carrying my weight just as well as your weight. And then they was trapping. When
Hmm.
they got into the bucket, you saw them close in on. And that's how they took the ball away because they closed in and snatched the ball and went on back down the other way. It blew my mind last night because it's been a minute since you've seen a fast break in the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. The Caucasian fella out of that's from Golden State, he was all the way down the other end when they took the ball. They just kicked it on out, and I thought he was going to slam dunk it, but he laid it in because he's not a dunker.
But
But
you know what's magical though? Those 3 pointers. Though they are. It's like you just sometimes look and you say, I can't believe he got that shot. I cannot believe he got that shot. Just like that guy.
both
When he that at the last second before the ending of that quarter, it was like, did you really do that? I mean, from way
step
it was so amazing.
39 feet from the basket.
Yes,
39 feet
yes,
from the bucket. The half court line is 40
magical.
feet. The whole court is 80 feet long. But here he was,
Wow.
39 feet from the half court line, and he hit it.
How do you do? I mean, do they train? I think there has to be a natural talent, a God-given talent, because everybody can't do that. I mean, that is just so magical
They
and it's
practice,
so beautiful.
and
It's
that's what
so
they
beautiful.
And that's what they're practicing now. They're not. It's just like we was talking to the coach and one of the coaches, and he said all they want to do is shoot three. Boom. All they want to shoot.
Yes.
They get out there and they start shooting from the outside. They
Mhm.
don't want to shoot in. They don't want to play that physical. They want to shoot out. Now, Looney that played for the Celtics,
Mhm.
played for the Baltimore, played for them boys. Looney got to the point where he went into the bucket several times.
Yes.
now Gary Payton the third. Gary
Uh-huh.
Payton, who played for the used to play basketball for the Warriors and he
Mhm.
used to play for the Sixers. His
Yes.
son was out there. Gary
Uh-huh.
Payton the third was out there, couldn't hit the back of a barn for the Golden State Warriors. But when he did get a layup, the crowd roared for him. Now here's what you got to understand. Here's what folks don't understand when your crowd is behind you.
Oh wow, yes.
Now, when they go to Boston,
Hmm.
it's going to be pandemonium in Beantown
Yeah, absolutely.
because they're going to have Boston's going to have home court advantage.
Yes.
Now, here's what we have to look at. We have to look at two things.
Hmm.
Is the crowd going to leave California and fly to Boston?
Oh wow, who knows?
So and what I like so much is every seat that was in Golden State had a yellow shirt on.
I saw all that yellow and all that green. Woo! My goodness.
But you can rest assured that's basketball.
It
But
was
when they play
awesome.
that finesse ball, when they get down and play ball and ballerina style, switch and turn it
Yes, they
around,
do.
playing
Living in the air.
behind the back, passing behind the back, in between the legs and doing the hoop, the yo-yos, and
Yes.
that's creative. That's what you call creativeness.
Those skills and just
They used
wonderful.
to do a windmill dunk.
Hmm.
Boom.
Hmm.
They used to one hand dunk. But Boston was playing great defense because when Pope went up to make a layup, boom, he got him.
It
When
was
Curry
awesome.
went up to make a layup, He got it. Was so easy. That Davis boy played good defense, and Lewis played good defense. But Trenton, he was playing. He couldn't get off like he want to. Now Williams for Boston, he was intimidated by Davon. Davon intimidated him, and so what they had to do is get him out of the game. A Star, the guy with the green hair, the Star, he was been intimidated by Curry. Curry was shooting his lights out,
As usual.
and he all he could do was sit down on the sideline. But
Mhm.
I'm looking for the Golden State Warriors. Remember this: I don't have a basketball team,
Mhm.
but I like experience.
Yes.
I like basic basketball experience. I don't like to run and gun. I don't like to run and gun.
Mhm.
You'll be so tired running and gunning up and down that court. I don't like that. I like when you sit there now and go half court and you finagle and put yourself together. And when you do that half court and you finagle and moving your men out the way, it's just like playing chess or checkers. I gotta get you out of the way so I can score.
Great game. What was the score?
107 to
To
88.
88. Oh my goodness. It was amazing.
107.
Beautiful. Wednesday, the game in Boston. I hope you all get a chance to look
19
at
points.
it
Yeah.
and see who's gonna be the team next. Who's going to win the game? We shall see. You know, some people make predictions. I can't make predictions. I think I could do that more with the NFL. It just feels better. But this one, it's any man's game.
Based on what you saw last night, what stood out for you most?
Hmm. I think what you call it, the Warriors played a good game. I think they were serious. They meant business. You know, sometimes I wonder about them. You know, they made it all the way to where they are, but sometimes I wonder if they either get slack, lax, lazy, tired. You know, some games I felt that they shouldn't have lost.
Right.
You know, even though they're there and on the top, there are some games I felt like they shouldn't have lost. Um, I forgot what team it was that beat them so bad. It was important.
Yeah, the second time they got beat
And
in the year in basketball. The
yeah,
second time.
it was like, ooh. But anyway, they're a great team. I like them a lot. Steph Curry to me is the star, and I like following the stars. You know, I like that about basketball, having your favorite, your fan favorites and stuff like that. So his name always stands out. Of course, Boston, like I said, I like them because of their legacy, of course. You know, because of their brand, their name, and the greats have come out of the
That's right.
Celtics.
That's right. That's
So
right. And the greats has come out of the Warriors too,
yeah,
like Rick Barry and all those others who came out of the Warriors, even down to Wilt Chamberlain.
that's what I know.
Yeah,
I
that came
know.
out. I want to say good morning to Miss Sheila Davis, Miss Jewel Corporal. Thank you so much for
Yes,
tuning
good
in. Miss
morning.
Sheila Robbins, thank you so much for tuning in. Miss Mardell Lewis, thank you so much. And Miss Roberta Carter, thank you all so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just love basketball. I think basketball is a great sport. I can't wait to go to a professional game. I think I'll feel even more, you know, like, ooh, this is something special uh, when I, you know, get a chance to experience that. But in the meantime, it's an easygoing game. I think it's easy to know how it's played,
Right?
uh, and that's what I love about it.
Have you
It's
ever played basketball?
yeah, I thought, you know,
I
jack
mean,
leg basketball. I wouldn't put me on nobody's team, not even an amateur team. Jack leg basketball, but you know, of course, you know, I've been out there and thrown, you know, the basketball and all that kind of stuff. But uh, I think it's an easy game to learn. I think that's why I like looking at it. And then it is a great, just a great sport.
it's a physical sport. It's
A
a
great
great
sport.
speed sport and built bodybuilding sport.
Yes,
You know, because you got to run up and down that court. I mean, one of the hardest things that you know, one of the drills is running from court to court. Run from,
absolutely.
that's 80 feet that you're running backwards
Backwards,
and
and you hear
forwards.
the shoes just squeaking
And
all night.
backwards and forward. 80 feet of running up and down that court before before they even put you in, put a uniform on you, you got to go into training. And then
Absolutely.
once you make it to the big league, and once you get to where you are in the pros, then you can talk smack or chicken feed. I want to switch some things because last night there were some folks who were on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
and I want to address it this morning.
Okay.
There were some folks who on Facebook was talking about the Washington football team.
Okay.
The people said Earl Spruill. I'm gonna call your name Earl. Earl Spruill and Vanessa Rogers and all y'all said y'all going to the store and you're gonna start getting some Washington Commandos gear.
Oh.
But I want to forewarn you, all you Washington fans. I want to forewarn you to give you some sad news.
Oh.
And the sad news that I want to give you that Federal Express FedEx has kicked y'all out of the stadium.
Why you say that?
They can't play there no more.
Why?
They done took the stadium back from the Washington Commandos.
Oh, really?
Now, and I just don't want to see people waste their money because now Washington, the Commandos are going to Maryland
Oh my.
and they're gonna play in Maryland. What you gonna call them? The Marlins, the Maryland? What you gonna change the name again to what? I
Mm.
mean, so I'm trying to tell you all before y'all go out here and buy any Washington Commandos gear. Federal Express has kicked y'all out of the stadium.
That is absolutely crazy. Oh my goodness, I have to follow that story.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's some
about
tea.
that.
That's some good tea.
That's some
That's
good
that
sports
tea.
tea.
That's good tea that I want to bring to you. That the Federal Express
Yes.
has taken the field away from
Okay. Well, I tell you what.
Washington Commanders.
I tell you what. We'll soon be following those teams and seeing what's going
A
on
day.
with the NFL. But in the meantime, we're gonna be keeping a watch on these final games, NBA finals, and see who goes to the end. Uh, I'm just, like I said, excited about the sport. I love uh, being able to really understand the sport, and also, you know, the team. I love having celebrities, fan favorites and things like that. And the money. It really, really is such an appealing thing to see the money that's being made. It comes through
That's
the
right.
hands and fingers of those players and those owners and those teams. And it's just amazing. We're going to talk about the business of, we have to talk about the business of sports, Mr. E, and the money that is, yeah, coming through the hands of so many, so big, making so much big money. I
Because
mean,
they playing that
it's just
basketball. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Oh,
You
yes, so he has internal documents reveal potential location of Washington and its new stadium. And so we're going to tell you all a little bit more about that. Uh, man,
in Sterling, Virginia.
yes. Oh my goodness. So we'll give you the tea on that, you guys, on the NFL soon. But in the meantime, we're going to give you some upcoming shows. Our schedule is going to probably change a little bit because we have our 1 hour show starting when school ends.
Yes.
And so we'll be kind of like doing a lot of things here and there, covering summer fun and having some fun with our serving that tea. We'll be opening up the phone lines and just having a great, great time. We're going to have our job listings, our current job listings for you all. We got Father's Day coming up, and we're going to tell you about Father's Day. We're going to see if we can give away something for our fathers, give away for you all that are listening, viewing. And so we got a lot going on here. Mr. E, give us some tea on some of the upcoming shows.
Some of the upcoming shows I want to invite you out to come on the 8th of this week. We got Miss Tanya Rollins from TRS to be our special guest on the 8th. And then on the 10th is a fun Friday. We got Miss Deborah Williams will be our special guest on the 8th. On the 10th of, then we got Mr. Samuel Smith. No, then we got Mr. Desi will be our special guest on that Wednesday. And then I forgot to put another. Oh, then we got Mr. VT. VT would be our
Who
special
is that,
guest.
Miss D?
He's out of ATL, out of Atlanta.
Oh,
I
okay.
call him VT, but I'll give you more information on
Absolutely.
that.
Well, we're going to update our calendar because there are some people that need to have a date earlier than later, and so we're going to actually revamp the calendar, and we'll have that for you all. Now, the website will be up and ready soon, and you'll be able to go to the website and see our guests that are going to come on. A lot of things with FYI, Crystal Community Development Corporation and Crystal Records. You'll be able to do that. You'll be able to buy the books, music, and things like that on crystalrecords.com website. So, so anyway, we are going to let's see, give you information. If you all follow us on Facebook, there's information up there. I'll also put it on LinkedIn. How you can follow, subscribe, how you can share and like. We need those numbers. We're trying to get on Instagram and TikTok, but we need numbers. We have to have numbers in order to go live, and so we need you to do that. We also need you all to go on YouTube, subscribe, so we can do some other things with that. We're already up there, but we need you all to subscribe and give us the numbers there.
I want to let you know TikTok is not as bad as you all think it may be. There are
What's
some,
gonna be bad?
a lot of people talking was bad on
If you
TikTok.
look at the bad stuff, is bad.
Yeah, so if you look
Keep your
at the
eyes
bad,
on something else, on the right thing.
so a lot of people were thinking that TikTok. Let's do it. Let's go on TikTok and be a part of what we do.
Yeah. So anyway, give us the numbers, please. Go and follow us. Tell your friends to follow us. Give us the numbers so we can go live with FY Radio Show for your information. Also, let's see the ladies' pies. Now this week the lady's going to be doing something different. You can still order, but the lady is going to be working on some new menu items, and so I'm going to concentrate on that. You may be able to get a sample, maybe. We'll see, but. Yeah, this week will be for making sure that the new items are tasting good, right on time.
Guinea pigs?
Look,
You got the guinea pigs out there?
Oh, Miss D gonna be a guinea pig. I'll let Miss D be a guinea pig. I think I told my daughter she's gonna be a guinea pig. And you all let them know how you like the new items that are on the menu. You can get the ladies' pies, cookies, and potato jacks, baked potato jack, sweet potato jacks, and there are
That's
new
gonna be
items
good
that's
too.
gonna
That
come on.
sounds
And so,
good.
what's happening with the ladies' pies? We're actually going to launch it during the season, holiday season, all the menu items and things like that. And so that's why I'm taking the time not just to get the pies out there and cookies out there and all the other treats, but to make sure I have a full menu ready for the holidays. And so the holidays and beyond. Mr. E, can you do that so I can take this expecting?
That's right. We want to make sure that you get all the items from FYI from the ladies' pie that
Yes.
you may need. And once you get all of that you may need, then you can get everything that one is talking about because the ladies' pie is going to be off the chain. You're going to have. She said something about jacks and things of that nature. So you better get ready because I'm going to be a guinea pig to help you to decide whether or not what it tastes like. So I want to let you know that if you might go ahead and put your order in now and start getting your pies ready. I want to say good morning, Mr. Phil Plum. How are you this morning? Thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. And thank you so very, very much. Thank you so much, very, very much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show. I got some little news that I look at it, I take care of it a little bit. So don't forget, join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on WPCE 1400. Anything else before I get rid of?
All right. So yeah. So we'll be posting the website real soon for you all to go on. I'll also make sure I have all the information on how you can follow us and subscribe on social media, on our social media platform. If you want to be a special guest, intern, or sponsor with FY, let me say this, that we are now for small businesses and people that are in business, people are starting business. This is the time now for you all to contact us and be a sponsor, especially with us going for an hour. This is the perfect time for you all with those businesses to reach out, call us, and we can have this platform.
That's
We're
right.
not just
That's right.
on, we're not a podcast.
That's right.
We are live radio, and but we also happen to have FYI on our social media platform.
That's right.
And so this is the perfect time to reach out to many people with your businesses and the things that you do. So if you all want to get in touch with Mr. E, you can reach out. Also, we host shows. Mr. E will give you the number of how you can get in touch and do all of those things.
Thank you so much, Mr. Trim said. Great sponsor. Yeah, sponsor. Yeah, we want to call you. Give us a call at 757-714-7861. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 from 9:30 to 10. And real soon when school closes, we'll go longer than that. Don't forget to give us a call at 757-714-7861 or inbox us and let us know what you have going on. If you know someone that needs to be on FYI, let us know. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. I'm Ed Everett. That's the host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you again, Philip Plump, Modell, Sheila Davis, Sheila Robbins, Roberta Carter, and all you all that are on there that I've missed. You all be blessed. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. Bye bye.
Bye bye.